Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, Secretary Ross. It's great to see you. I'm not going to repeat what Senator Van Hollen and Senator Bozeman on the EDA, except to reinforce to you, and you and I have talked about this, the good things that EDA does for smaller projects, certainly in a state like ours. And I think that I would encourage us working together to try to keep that, I think, very valuable program. Also on the internet, you and I have also talked about this. I know you worked on this in Florida in terms of deployment to the unserved and underserved areas. Part of what I worked on in the last omnibus bill was to expand EDA's ability to reach in for underserved and unserved areas and be a part of this. We really need all hands on deck, and we don't want to leave the rest of the country out. So that's my comment on that. I did want to bring up the important work that's being done at the NOAA facility in Fairmont. It's the COOP site for NOAA and also the consolidated backup facility for the critical GOES satellite series. They're doing groundbreaking work also in the supercomputing. But this budget proposes cuts to high-performance computing. We've invested considerable resources on new satellite programs to collect massive amounts of data. I'm not sure why we would cut the very tools we need to take that information and derive more meaningful information from that data. So I've conveyed to the leadership at NOAA, and I convey to you that the people in Fairmont, in West Virginia, stand ready to expand their capabilities to meet the needs of the department and NOAA to fulfill its stated mission. So I don't know if you have a comment on the supercomputing question.
Well, NOAA and I both share your interest in the supercomputing capability within the Fairmont facility. While there's a slight reduction to the contract support for this facility in the fiscal year 19 budget due to the need to make some of the tough choices that have affected us elsewhere, but we remain committed to providing and sustaining support for this facility and for the other work in Fairmont. Earlier this week, NOAA leadership had a successful COOP exercise there and committed to sustaining support for the facility.
Good.
And we will continue to partner with local universities on professional development programs for members of the local community.
Great, that's good, and we would encourage that. The last question I had, I noticed in your statement that you had asked for increased funding for the BIS to do the, with expanded export controls to protect our technology and to help the CFIUS process. As you and I have talked about as well, when on the trip to China in, I think it was early in November, the Chinese and the state of West Virginia entered into a preliminary agreement of investment and Chinese investment into our state. I'm interested in how the interplay of increased funding for CFIUS might help us move these projects along in West Virginia with the assurances that that after investigating all of this, that we're on firm footing here to pursue these.
Well, when I was over there last week, that was one of the topics we discussed. As you know, I'm a very big supporter of that project.
Right.
And I didn't get the impression that they're backsliding at all on it. Have you had any implication that they are backsliding?
No, I haven't had any indication. I mean, we haven't seen an investment yet, but I guess my question really goes more towards the CFIUS process that will be occurring. I assume it will occur on something of this magnitude.
Yes, well, CFIUS, the real target in CFIUS is militarily sensitive activity. I would be very, very surprised if the activities that would be from the West Virginia venture would be deemed as falling within that.
Yeah, I doubt that myself.
We want to export those products. The Chinese want to import them. I've not heard any indication from the president or from the Chinese that there's any opposition to that project.
Thank you very much. Thank you.